Hello, today I wanted to talk a little bit about sourdough bread. This is my starter. I'm getting ready to feed it. And as you see, there's a bunch of stuffs around here. Okay, what I've discovered is if you just feed the starter regular organic white or wheat flour, it starves. Most of the instructions say feed it every 24 hours. If you're only feeding it white bread or white flour or wheat flour, you need to be feeding it twice a day because your yeast is going to starve and then you're going to get super sourdough and it's going to taste nasty. Okay, to feed it, depending on how much starter you have, you need either 1 or 2 cups of flour. And as you can see, I've already got 2 cups of water there, indicating I'm going to do 2 cups of flour. Now, what I have been doing, because of the whole white and wheat flour issue of starvation, is I have been adding in grains. Now, this right here is ground up bulgur and farro, and this is the bulgur that I'm using. For those that don't know, this particular kind in my hand here is it's a red wheat, and all bulgur is wheat seeds that have been sprouted and then dried. This is what the product looks like before it's been messed with. Okay, so, and that's of course the darker color. And then farro, this right here, and this is still available in stores as far as I know. The fun part of that was I went to the beans section looking for what grains were available, and literally farro was the only thing there, and I just started chuckling because nobody knew what is farro. So let me actually show you this. Okay, look at all that dietary fiber in there, all that protein. So by adding that to your breads and your starter, you're feeding your yeast some protein and you're just good stuff there. And sorry, my son's trying to help me here. Charlie. And let's see how well that shows. There you go. And that's bulgur. Okay. Babe, you may not play in the flour. Okay, in this bowl right here, I'm not going to put it in my starter, but I wanted to get it on video before I use it, because I'm getting ready to use it in my actual bread recipe here in a second. This is ground up pearl barley, and I bought this ages ago, but that's what the pearl barley actually looks like before you mess with it. Okay. And what I do is I add 1 cup at a time, and I'm using the 1/2 measuring. And I don't have a stand to put my camera on while I do the mixing, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, and that's what it looks like after I've mixed in the grains and the first cup of water. Okay, and this is after I have added the white flour. Now, when using the white and the wheat flour, I use heaping cups instead of level cups because that gives the yeast more to chew on. Okay, and add the rest of the water. Go. I will be right back. And this is what it looks like once all the flour is in there. Now, I do need to talk about containers for a second. I have actually left this in my oven overnight without being covered because it was in the oven and nobody's going to mess with it. However, it's better to keep it in something like this with a coffee filter over the top, held in place by a rubber band. So I'm getting ready to do that right now, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's ready to go and ready to just sit out and do its thing. A few notes here. Once you have your starter going and ready to start using, if you are not going to bake bread every day, store it in the refrigerator because the cooler temperatures, the yeast doesn't grow as quickly. Okay. I had at one point I had my starter going really well, and then I forgot to feed it one day, and it was done. I had to start all over again. So seriously, if you're not going to be able to feed it every day, you're going to want to store it in a cool location. Also, a tip on doing this, one, it has to be a breathable cover, coffee filter, as you saw. Stop. My daughter is helping me. But make sure when you put the starter back in there that you clean up around the outside and around the inside lip, because it makes it much easier to clean the jar. And the way I do it is I will add it to the jar until it's about to here. And then I will dump it into the bowl that you saw it in earlier. And I'll dump about half of that into another bowl that I'll use to make flour with. Then I'll feed it in the bowl, put it in the oven. Okay. That way, during that period, this could wash and dry and be ready to be used again. Now, what I did last night, because it had gone a little sour again, was I went ahead and put it in the bowl. But I had ended up throwing some away yesterday. So I'm at the point now where I can play it by the smell of it to know if it's okay to use or not. Sometimes it's gone just too sour. You can just scoop off the top part of it and it's good to go again. So just play with it, experiment, see what works for you. But that's what I've learned so far. Thank you for watching.